At, does it ever feel like the more grace you extend, the more someone tries to walk all over you? It's a frustrating paradox. You lead with compassion, and they respond with entitlement. At, you offer a second chance, and they double down on the disrespect. It feels as though your kindness is acting as an invitation for their hostility. But there is a fundamental truth about human connection that we rarely discuss. We provide the blueprint for how others engage with us at, often without saying a single word. Here at Looks Fine Inside, we believe that reclaiming your peace starts with changing that blueprint. There is one specific internal pivot that alters every interaction you have. When you implement it, the people who truly value you at will step up to meet your new standard, while those who were only there to take advantage will quietly exit the stage at. Let's explore the psychological mechanics of why this happens. First, quit feeding the fire with your emotional labor. In behavioral science, there is a concept known as intermittent reinforcement. This occurs when a person's poor choices are met with your continued warmth, attention, or frantic efforts to fix things. By staying emotionally available after you've been mistreated, you are inadvertently sending a message that your boundaries have no consequences. You are teaching them that regardless of how they act, you will still be there to provide the validation they crave. This is exactly why toxic personalities linger. They are addicted to the control they have over your state of mind. The shift is simply, the next time someone tries to bait you into an argument or dismisses your feelings, choose stillness. Don't defend your position. Don't try to bridge the gap. Simply let the silence breathe. This is the practice of emotional regulation, and it is a hallmark of a high-functioning mind. When you stop being a reliable source of reactive energy, those who thrive on drama will naturally lose interest at. You aren't being heartless, you are simply taking back the remote control to your own emotions. Second, stop writing a thesis to justify your no. People who struggle with people-pleasing often feel the need to over-explain their boundaries, usually because they are terrified of being perceived as the bad guy. However, in the world of interpersonal dynamics, a long explanation is often interpreted as a lack of confidence. It signals that your boundary is up for negotiation. Instead of a paragraph, try a period. Use a phrase like, "That isn't something I can do." It is neutral, firm, and complete. You don't owe anyone a backstory for your self-respect. On the channel Looks Fine Inside, we emphasize that healthy individuals will hear a limit and honor it, while those with toxic traits will view it as a challenge to their authority. If they demand a reason, you don't need to invent one. You can simply restate that it doesn't align with your needs. A real boundary isn't a debate, it's a fact. Third, lean into the power of behavioral distance. Not every limit needs to be announced with a megaphone. Sometimes the most effective boundary is a quiet withdrawal of access. If someone refuses to treat you with dignity, stop being the first person to text. Stop moving your schedule around to accommodate their whims. Respond on your own timeline, not theirs. This isn't about playing games or using the silent treatment as a weapon. It's about self-preservation. You are demonstrating that access to your inner circle is a privilege, not a right. When the emotional payout of your constant presence disappears, the person who was draining you will likely drift away. They didn't leave because you were mean. They left because the game they were playing no longer had a prize. Fourth, make peace with the idea of being the villain in someone else's story. Many of us are held hostage by approval dependency, the paralyzing fear that if someone is unhappy with us, we must have failed. But this fear is the exact tool a manipulator uses to keep you in line. They know that if they act offended, you will fold. Once you accept that you are not responsible for everyone's opinion of you, you become untouchable. When you stop auditioning for their approval, they lose their leverage. Interestingly, when you develop the backbone to stand alone, the people who actually belong in your life will feel a deeper sense of security around you because they know you are authentic. Finally, prove to yourself that your joy is self-sustaining. Nothing changes a power struggle faster than emotional autonomy. Toxic individuals rely on the fact that you need their okay to feel good about yourself. But when you pour that energy back into your own passions, your own routines, and your own community, you send a silent, undeniable message. I am whole with or without you. At Looks Fine Inside, we see this as the ultimate transition. You aren't forcing them out. You are simply building a life so full of self-respect that there is no room left for anyone who demands control. If you've spent years feeling drained, please understand that you aren't too much and you aren't broken. You likely just adopted survival strategies that no longer serve you. Pick just one of these shifts to practice this week. Observe who stays and who vanishes. The departures aren't a tragedy, they are an upgrade in clarity. You aren't losing friends, you are clearing the path for genuine connection. Your life is finally becoming a place that belongs to you.